Daniel De Rossi returns to big football. The Italian legend heads the club from APL. Arsenal buys a superstar for the attack, Manchester United wants to bring back David De Gea, and Barcelona buys Liverpool's main star. Virgil van Dijk is in the sights of the Catalans. We're talking about this and much more today. Friends, this is Dose of Football and a hot selection of the most interesting news at this hour. To see each other tomorrow today, we just need to gather 5,000 thumbs up under this video. I believe in you, and of course I wish you a pleasant appetite and a pleasant viewing. Real Madrid's defender is preparing for radical changes in his career. Injuries are forcing him to take extreme measures. David Alaba considered his move from Bavaria to Madrid to be a great reinforcement for the capital's team at the time. The Austrian is physically strong, a versatile player with a vast experience of playing at the very top level, for whose transfer not a penny had to be paid. Such a successful deal would probably be something the sports department of any European grand would want to boast about. But in practice, Alaba's transfer turned out to be a failure. His first season was not at the level, it was not with any wow effect. Well, there's not much bad to say either. But then the real problem started. A series of injuries led to Alaba ultimately suffering a severe knee ligament tear. The recovery took more than a year. Only a couple of months ago, the Austrian was able to return to the field, but after such a long absence, the player's form leaves much to be desired. Even with David Alaba on the bench, Carlo Ancelotti preferred to field more seasoned players. That same Rylan Tchouameni in the position of a central defender seemed to the Italian a more acceptable option than the appearance of the Austrian. Why so? We could get an answer to this question in a recent match against Sociedad. I don't remember such a case where, in the games of Real Madrid, one footballer made as many as 3 resultative mistakes. Such a poor performance made David Labu think about ending his career. At the end of the season, his contract with Madrid ends and the management does not intend to extend it. Austrians continue to receive one of the highest salaries in the composition. To be more specific, it's 24 million euros a year. But even if you don't consider the level of salary, it would be strange to sign a new agreement with an aging traumatologist. Ultimately, club legend Dani Carvajal is not the one to make such a statement. But Alaba has already earned his comfortable old age. It's unlikely that anyone will offer him more favorable conditions, even clubs from Saudi Arabia, let alone European ones. Therefore, considering Alaba's health condition, ending his career doesn't seem like such a bad option. The era of Diego Simeone at Atletico Madrid may be coming to an end. Even with the strongest squad in recent years, the Argentine has not been able to win a major trophy. When the season just started, Atletico showed fantastic football. By fall's end, the team was on a winning streak, vying with Real Madrid and Barcelona for first place due to numerous victories. And the long winning streak allowed fans to count on big achievements by the end of the season. Atletico's main rivals had to physically wear out and let the underdogs take the lead. However, the spring stretch went much worse than expected. In the championship, Atletico lost too many points, and now there is no hope for him to fight for the championship. He will likely secure his usual third place at the season's end. In other tournaments, Atletico also suffered from his more formidable rivals. Real Madrid knocked out their city rivals from the Champions League at the quarterfinal stage, and Barcelona stopped Atletico in the cup. In both cases, the mattress makers had every chance to go further, but lacked one small but important step to continue the fight for the trophies. Now in Madrid, they are discussing the possible dismissal of Simeone. If the Argentine did not even bring such athletes to the title, then maybe it's time to change him? For now, discussions about rotation in the coaching position are at an early stage. Concrete steps will be taken at the end of the season. But the end of the Simeone era does not seem like a bad idea. This Atletico is capable of once and for all breaking into the hegemony of Real Madrid and Barcelona in the Spanish arena. To achieve this, a coach who can unlock the team's full potential is essential. If you look at Barca, the same players are playing for it now as last season. But can we say that Xavi's and Flick's teams are no different? Of course not. These are two absolutely different teams in spirit and style of play. It's quite possible that a coach with a champion mentality and the necessary skills will create something similar with Atletico. Kevin De Bruyne is frequently featuring in Manchester City's lineup against weaker opponents. This speaks of Guardiola's distrust in the first place to the physical data of the Belgian, who inevitably falls due to age. Earlier, De Bruyne was the driving force of the city's pressing, but now he is gradually becoming a burden for the team. He doesn't work out too often. Guardiola has hinted multiple times that Kevin will likely depart Manchester City, leaving fans certain the legend will leave the team. And the bookmaker too. The odds that De Bruyne will end up in Major League Soccer are 1.5 times higher than the odds of him continuing his career in City. But the situation is changing rapidly, and now it seems that the Belgian might even go to Saudi Arabia. According to Footmercat, the second division club of Saudi Arabia, Neom Soccer Club, is in talks with Kevin. Furthermore, the situation has escalated, with De Bruyne open to leaving for higher pay. He himself once spoke about this. They say in the East, they offer such money that you can provide for several generations, so why refuse? It appears the footballer's new club will be NEOSK. And the fact that the team plays in the second division only underscores that the vast majority of European stars don't care about sports ambitions when they go to Saudi Arabia. No matter what stories they spin for us. Kevin's partner Romelu Lukaku also once thought about making a move to the Middle East, but eventually declined because of the heat. And it's no wonder he's now pulling Napoli along with his favorite coach. Recently, Romelu scored his 400th career goal. That's more than Ronaldo, Maradona, Alan Shearer, Van Nistelrooy, and Van Persie. A couple more goals and he'll overtake Raul. He's in the hundreds and is compared to Karim Benzema. Not bad for a forward like me, right? Not so long ago, in an exclusive interview for Career Dallas Sport, Lukaku stated that he will end his career in his native Anderlecht. Romelu plans to head to Belgium immediately after the World Championship in the United States of America. And all because of a promise given to this Sun fan of Anderlecht. Lukaku will be only 32 years old after the World Cup. He could have played in Europe for longer, but apparently he's tired of the constant hate. David De Gea has signed a contract with Fiorentina and is enjoying life. Although the Spaniard is dragging the team, he confesses his love for exploring Florence. In his free time, he enjoys reading, watching anime, and playing games. De Gea called the year without game practice the best time in his life. He met with friends a lot, and finally, he was able to devote all his attention to his family. Despite this, Kuiper is not eager to retire soon. I know this will happen, but I'm not worried about it. There's still time, and I'm in shape. David has many friends in England. He regularly meets with former Manchester United partners. De Gea may return to the club partly because of them. Manchester United will try to sign Kuiper this summer. The leadership believes Manchester United erred in letting De Gea go. I disagree. While David is an excellent goalkeeper, he doesn't play for the national team. His footwork is weak and he's unstable on the line. Well, yes, when he catches the courage, the attacking side can simply give up. I remember the legendary match with Arsenal and 14 saves, among which a couple were just incredible. And at the same time, if you look at the statistics of expected save shots, then De Gea in the last 2 seasons for Manchester United was worse than Onana in the first 2. And yet I understand why the club brings back the goalkeeper. Where will epic saves be remembered more than recent mistakes? Moreover, De Gea is a leader, and in key matches he often gives his maximum. David himself is unlikely to be against Kambek, who can help him secure the status of a club legend. In short, we are waiting. Arsenal needs a new forward like Kai Havertz, who is more comfortable playing as a false 9. Yes, and Gabriel is already gravitating towards the center of the field, but sometimes the team needs a classic 9, a classic pillar in the penalty area, which will serve as a beacon for crosses. Arsenal has set its sights on Viktor Dikarev from Sporting, who continues to fight for the Golden Boot. Yesterday he scored a beautiful header for Rio Ave in the Portuguese Cup. It's certain that he will leave Sporting after this season. He outgrew the team. Arsenal has started negotiations for the upcoming transfer. Moreover, the Gunners have already received permission from Sporting to discuss the terms of a possible collaboration with the player himself and his representatives. Right now, Dekaresh seems to be the forward who will be competing for the Golden Boot every season for the next 10 years. Let's not jump to conclusions. They once thought the same about Darwin Núñez. Moving from the Portuguese league to the English league could significantly reduce Dekaresh's performance, although it seems that the physically demanding championship will suit him. Moreover, he has already lived in England. After all, he once played for Brighton, even if he never debuted in the Premier League, and now he finally gets his chance. Young, promising and ambitious. Exactly what's required. It will cost Allah $70 million. But it would be strange if the forward, who scored more than 40 goals in a season, would cost less the second time. Andre Berta, the new sports director of Arsenal, certainly knows the ropes in the 90s. In his time, he brought Luis Suarez, Antoine Griezmann and David Villa to Atletico. His bet on Dijk is a big compliment to the athlete. Daniel Dorossi left Roma with a scandal. The coach was restructuring the team and planned to play with 3 10s. Not everything was perfect, but his Roma simply devastated on the ball. The defense still needed work, it was a matter of time. But the coach was fired. And all because of the general director Lina Saluka, who didn't like that Dorossi didn't want to get rid of Dybala and keep him on the bench if the Argentine doesn't move to one of the Saudi clubs. Saluka falsely told management that the players no longer backed the coach, resulting in Dorossi's dismissal. When the secret came out, it was too late. Saluka had appointed Ivan Juric, and the club signed a contract with him and released an official statement. It was too late to save Dorossi. The coach invested in Roma's success at the Ranger. Claudi uses some of Dorossi's attacking preparations. And this is a sign of recognition of Daniel's quality work, about which we talked at the end of last season. That's why Dorossi is called in the APL. The other day, La Gazzetta dello Sport Wolverhampton had negotiations with Daniel. The club is unhappy with Vitor Pereira's work and they will ask him to vacate the coaching seat in the summer. Dorossi is a great specialist, promising, why not? He just needs to become a bit more pragmatic and he will be top. Wolverhampton has serious ambitions, a decent squad and budget. The 17th line is not the outcome the Wolves anticipated before the season began. I'm sure with Dorossi at least they will be in the middle of the table if not higher. Liverpool is planning to replace Virgil van Dijk with a Barcelona star. The contract of the Dutch defender, as known, ends this summer and it seems he is not planning to extend it. This means that Liverpool needs to find a worthy replacement for him. Last time, Kauzerov linked with Real Madrid newcomer Raul Asensio, who brightly showed himself in his first season. However, the Spaniard is not the only one Liverpool is considering. The Reds have also set their sights on Barcelona's Ronaldo Araujo, according to Spanish media. In general, it's worth noting that the list of contenders cannot but please Liverpool, as they need to replace not just a key defender, but the team's captain and its long-standing leader. So a very conscious approach is needed when selecting the performers here. Now it's clear that Liverpool is looking for character players who have already made a name for themselves. Indeed, such footballers will cost a lot. Accordingly, Asante will cost Liverpool 100 million euros. Real Madrid's management made it clear that if someone wants to buy the Spaniard, they can only do it through activating the clause. Ronaldo Rauch's transfer is a more canonical option. When renewing the contract with Barcelona, the Uruguayan insisted on a reduction of the buyout option. Instead of €1 billion, 60 million is now enough for the buying club to take the defender, even without seeing a negotiation with Barcelona. Including for this reason, Araujo is considered a more acceptable candidate, and in my opinion, Liverpool's management should focus specifically on him. Uruguayan favored for price, experience and physicality. In the match with Atletico, for example, he won almost all duels against the 2-meter Scandinavian giant Alexander Sørloth. He can handle Holland, but Van Dijk's future after the season is still uncertain. Rumors suggest the Dutchman may return to strengthen Barcelona's ranks. The Catalan club has long been monitoring his situation. At the same time, rumors about a possible move of Van Dijk to the Middle East for his last big contract are not subsiding. In short, it's hard to predict his future, but it's highly likely that it won't be associated with Liverpool. And next season we'll see a new defensive link for the Reds. N'Golo Kante has moved to earn in Saudi Arabia and has become one of the main stars of Al Ittihad. Kante recently got married in Bamako, Mali, the homeland of his bride. Kante himself was born to a family of Malian immigrants. N'Golo doesn't forget about his roots. For example, he financed the creation of a modern high-class medical facility in Bamako. The player did not regret $5 million. The hospital will help children who do not receive proper care. The Frenchman did all this during a break, which turned into an international pause. Why didn't Disha call Kante, despite his strong game in recent matches for the tricolours? Most likely, he simply decided to take a break, and at the same time try new combinations in the centre of the field. In fact, perhaps Deschamps didn't want to take a risk and call up a player he hasn't particularly followed. It's unlikely that Didier often monitors Al Ittihad matches, and this could serve as a reason for Angol's return to Europe in the summer. The defender himself hinted at this. Kante has an option with Besiktas. The salary will be less than at Al Ittihad, but Angol will play in the Eurocups, and from there, he might transfer to a club from the top 5 leagues. After the European Championship, Barcelona and West Ham United were interested in the Frenchman. Due to his experience and discipline, Kante will be useful to any team for a long time. He only left Chelsea because of constant injuries, but lately they have stopped bothering the midfielder. Because Besiktas is unlikely to make a mistake by signing the midfielder. Thanks for watching and subscribing to the channel. That's all for today. My name is Kirill Kasta. This was your daily dose of football. Peace to your home and Johanga friends. Subtitles created.